Hello ladies and welcome to the channel. My name is Isha. I welcome you here if you are new here, and it's been a few days. I didn't really record any specific content for this channel. So today I thought I would love to invite you guys to join me on my Patreon because I have started my classes and memberships there. So if you would like to learn a lot more about Level Up Journey, tapping into your feminine energy, healing your energy, setting your mindset right, I think that's the biggest thing that I usually talk a lot about, and I have been for years. Also, if you are a new person here on this channel, I think a little bit background would be needed. I certainly am someone who has been through a very, very dark phase herself. It was dark, it was lonely, and there was depression, and that's all I could remember. And when I say depression, I don't mean it just like everybody else nowadays seems to say, yeah, I'm depressed right now, I can't come to the party. Not that kind of depressed. It was serious depression. I was on medication, but I decided that I don't want to take the medications. And soon enough, I started on my journey of personal development, of grooming and leveling up and stuff. I had that Uber energy, I think we talk a lot about Uber energy on my Facebook group, and also I have a whole video on the subject. I would love for you to watch that just so you have a better idea about what it really is. So I've had a little bit of that Uber energy where I was overcompensating, whether it was in my friendships or even in my relationships and stuff like this. And even within the family, I have always been like that super, super nice girl, and I was trained kind of like that. So deconditioning for myself was very, very tough, considering I'm Aries. Okay, that's just a joke, but you get the point. Why I say Aries is just because it's funny to me that on this channel, the videos that do the best are the ones that I did ages ago, which were all about the Aries women evolution. And even till today, I get comments on that video every single day and so much views, which is interesting. But obviously this channel is not really a star sign channel, right? That's just like a fun and entertainment part. Obviously what I'm into more is, researching and learning about human design, about human structure, about the way we function, about our psychology, men's psychology, women's psychology, children's psychology. So those are things that I study and I write about, and I think I've talked about this. You guys know that I'm also writing a book at the moment, but anyway, I can't really tell too much about that because it's still in the process. So I'm gonna keep updating you guys one by one when it's kind of finishing up or whatever. But for now, I wanted to tell you that when I decided to then embark on this journey to improve myself, it was just for me. It was not a decision for, to get anyone or to make anybody happy or to satisfy anybody or maybe even take revenge. It was not that kind of energy. I felt like I really, really needed, to do things for myself, if that makes sense. I was not in a good place. And even talking about it right now, I don't know where to start because it was very dark. There was this time where I used to literally want to keep everything around me even dark. I never wanted to see the daylight, the sunlight, literally nothing. I just wanted everything dark. I wouldn't even clean my surroundings for a few days because it's like there is no movement, there is no activities. What should I clean? There's nothing to do, nothing to wipe or dust, nothing. And this is how still it was. A very still, dark, kind of like a full stop. I used to think this is how life is going to be from now onwards, and this is just like a full stop. That's how it used to feel. It didn't even feel like a comma. It felt more like a full stop. And that was a very, very, deep, hurting feeling that used to feel like my heart is being cut with a knife. And it was bad, and the exact year was 2016, where everything literally seemed like falling apart. Whether it was my friendships, they were failing, my relationship was failing, and then I had huge loss in business. Everything was kind of like a lesson for me at that time. It was like a full year of so many lessons, which now I can look back and say, yes, it was a lesson. But back then, obviously, everything was like, oh my God, why me? What's wrong with me? Why this and why that, right? And so, and of course, there was also a bit of family turbulence going on and stuff like that, which that's a little too personal, so I'm not going to get into that, but maybe another time, another day, in another video. But today, I want to keep it a little simple, because I have seen recently, whether it's on groups, on Facebook, whatever, a lot of ladies, when they follow anyone for any sort of advice, I understand that we want to know that the next person, where they're coming from when they're saying certain things. Sometimes I have been talking a lot about, things about even marriage, divorce, men's psychology, the manipulation they do, the mind games that they play. And people think, looks like Isha has been divorced herself many, many times because she knows all of this. And it's like, no, I don't know these things because I have been divorced, or no, there's no such thing. However, when all of these things were happening in 2016, the first book that I ever picked up, especially after I left uni, was Why Men Marry Bitches. And it's really funny because that book was just available. It was just laying here somewhere. I think one of our friends probably gave it as a gift to my sister or whatever, I can't remember, but that book was in the house. And I'm like, oh, that's a funny title. Let me read it. And that was the first time I actually, out of curiosity, picked up a book, because I was never really a person who would love to read books and stuff. Like, even at school, I used to find people boring that used to say reading book is my hobby. And I was like, you are just not cool, And now I'm reading this book and I find it so fun. I'm like, okay, I think I could get halfway through. I keep on reading. The next day, I'm excited to read it. I'm like, okay, I think I could do a bit more, And I was learning so much. Just I could relate in some of the things so much because of my own relationship or because of my own, connections with other human beings as friends or colleagues or whatever. And I'm like, this is so fun to read. And I looked into the author and I'm like, I think I've seen Steve Harvey somewhere. Wait a minute, he's a comedian. Makes sense. So I started to watch some of his videos also. I looked up his wife and I'm like, wow, she is graceful, glamorous, elegant, and all of that. So slowly you see how one by one it's like the doors were opening for me, and I was looking at this whole different world which was so new to me at the time, where I'm looking at elegance, class, glamour, lifestyle, or whatever. And I'm like, why am I so stuck? There is this whole life to live out there, and I should do something. I should at least have some sort of movement in my life. I didn't have any movement. As I said, my life was feeling like it's like a full stop, not even a comma, literally a full stop. How can I have movement? One day, a friend of mine, literally, she just said, Isha, you speak on a lot of things, you have a lot of wisdom. Why don't you talk about certain things? Just go live and talk about things. I'm going to add you to certain groups or whatever. And I'm like, okay, but I'm too nervous. Like, even to this day, sometimes I do feel nervous, right? I have a lot to say and tell. But sometimes, of course, I would get a little nervous. And at that time, it was so new to me. I started speaking, and I used to just go live on random people's groups. And I started speaking about, why men play mind games, or what to do if you're in this situation, what to do after a breakup, or what to do if you're having a toxic family situation, and stuff like that. I was talking about a lot of different subjects. All of a sudden, it became my hobby, I loved talking about different things. And it was so fun because during that thing that I was doing, I was not just talking it out and saying it out loud, whatever I knew, whatever I thought. It's that a lot of people were able to relate to the things that I would say. And then every single day I would get these long messages from people all over the world wanting my guidance and help, because apparently they thought at the time I could help them somehow. Now I understand why. Of course, I do function as a guide, so I understand why when people meet me or even they see me, they see a guide in me somehow, or like a friend in me, because I do have that like guiding sort of energy, you know what I'm saying? So at that time, it was like many people wanted like, hey, Isha, I have this situation, I know you can tell me. Like, they were trusting me blindly. And that's good for me because it instilled a little bit of responsibility inside of me. I was like it gave me a little bit of purpose, a little bit of purpose. I needed that so bad. And I was helping people left, right, center, obviously for free at that time. So, because of course I was not qualified, I didn't know any better, I didn't know nothing, really. All I knew was talk about beauty and DIY and just depression. That's all I knew. And living in darkness and not even asking for help. That's what I knew. So I didn't know I could help anyone or anyone could want to be around me so bad. I didn't know that it didn't exist for me ever. I never thought it ever will. Oh my god, talking about it is a little emotional for me. I'm like stumbling on my words a little too much today. When I started doing live sessions a lot more, I gathered a lot of audience somehow. But again, because it was different people's platforms, it was not really my own platform. And I'm thankful, to everyone who was always watching me and like guiding me, kind of supporting me and pushing me. Hey, keep doing this. And even if one day I would not come live, there will be like hundreds of women messaging me every day, telling me, we're missing you today. Where are you today? So it created this kind of hype for me. So much so that the platforms that I was using, of course, it was other women's groups and stuff. They literally started to kind of like not really like me, and well, now I understand why, But at that time I was really angry because they would kind of like delete my videos or just kind of play these little games, and I'm too aware of these games anyway. Like, that's something I was talking about every single day. So how can you like do this to me, But it was a little funny. I left all the groups basically at one point because it's like I was facing rejection too much, from like authorities, so-called, or whatever. Luckily, there were so many people there that were like, you know what, you need your own group and we're gonna support you. And I'm like, I have my hands full right now. You see all these messages that I'm getting every single day? I want to help these people. I want to talk to them at least, kind of heal them one way or the other. I don't know how, but I was actually doing that. And there will be these girls saying, no, you know what, all you have to do is just come live whenever the hell you want. We're gonna manage everything else. I'm like, we could do that, okay. I create this group literally overnight, like within 2 days, 2 nights, we had over 14k people, members literally already there. Because of course I was talking a lot about kind of controversial things, the things that you see now on YouTube. I was hiding myself at that time. That was a few years ago. I was doing those things, but I was doing that privately, like on groups, like closed women groups and stuff, because I was too scared to be out there anyway. And then so the groups kind of became like this close-knit family of a lot of women, by the way, from all over the world. And that was a lot of love and stuff. Now, again, of course, with a lot of love comes negativity, hatred, jealousy, competition, trying to, put you in a bad light and all of those things, which I have faced also after that. And that was yet another experience, which a little bit kind of drove me back into my depression. But thankfully, by that time, because of the process of gaining confidence by helping other people, I had managed to somewhat get my own support system, create my own tribe on the way also. I had great mentors, great guides, great friends also that I could talk to, that were wiser, that were professional, that was real people, that could tell me something, that were doing well in their life also. And so I didn't really suffer that much. Probably for like 2-3 months I was down, and I took a whole break for the whole year actually. I think that was 2019, 2018, I can't remember. I took a whole gap between that year that I was not doing lives, I was not talking about things, I was not helping anyone. I was just focused on my brand, which I started then, which is Isha Cosmetics. And it's so funny I'm sharing my story today, but yeah, my mentor literally would always say to me, Isha, you feel fulfilled when you're guiding, teaching, helping. That's just who you are as a person. You can't just stop. You have like this teacher inside of you that needs to come out, and you're hiding. And I'm like, I want to help and I want to guide and I want to talk about so many things, right? But the thing is, if I'm not going to be appreciated and not going to be recognized, constantly maybe feel rejected or like shown in a bad light just because of pure jealousy or competition, then that's not really me, because I don't do those things, right? If I see somebody doing better than me, I've always had like this admiration for people. I don't really look at them like, oh, why does she have that and why I don't? I always see and I'm like, wow, I love it. Or you're beautiful, you're hot. I literally say that to people, and I always have. But I understand that with other people, with some of the people, it was not the case. They would hate, literal hate, that I had gathered this audience, which these things are so superficial, it shouldn't really matter, but they're also meaningful at the same time, because followers is not just a number. Followers means real people, Like, you guys are real people that watch me. How many ever it is, it's real people. For me, it's not just a number, it's actually human beings, you know? And if they are getting something nice then serves my purpose, I'm very happy with that, and this is it, period. If you guys also end up buying anything from my website, which is Isha Cosmetics, I'm very thankful, I'm grateful, and I love to provide great products also. By the way, check out Isha Cosmetics. We do amazing hair care products and skincare, and the waist trainers are the best thing ever. But anyway, coming back to the point, the whole year I took a gap, and I'm like, my energy is drained and exhausted, and I am gonna start doing these things again, but I need at least 1 more year. And so my teacher would always tell me, oh, Isha, you're gonna lose all your audience. This is such a mistake, you know? And you should also understand, when things go wrong or when you're being hated online and stuff like that, this is actually the best time for you to milk it. And I'm like, I'm not here to milk it, you know? I understand from like a business point of view, or generally, as they say, no PR is bad PR. I get it. But it was not my purpose, and it was not making me feel very happy anyway. Like, I don't want to do those nasty games and nasty things and stuff like that, right? By heart, I'm just a normal, nice person. So it doesn't serve me right when I'm playing games or trying to prove someone and taking revenge and I'm going to show you my success. Like, at that time, I was a little too mellow for that. Or let's say I was still somewhat, I still had those layers of depression around me, which was not letting me think competitively or be my best potential self. Do you understand me? So I was still very much in the hiding phase. But now I understand myself a bit more. Again, this is also something I'm writing about, which is to understand your own design, because every single human being has one. And when we follow that structure and the strategy that has been given to us by Mother Nature, then we are at our best, you know? And that is why now I understand unapologetically that there is a little teacher inside of me, there is this guide, and I like talking about things. It makes me happy, it serves my purpose as a human being, rather than me trying to, you know, do makeup and like makeup tutorials and stuff. That's not me. I did it for a while. I had a lot of nice makeup tutorials and makeup looks. Even on this channel, I think I have a few, not many, but on my page I used to do a lot, and it was draining me. When I was done, it was draining me. And now I understand why. When I give information, and if it's something, guidance, teaching, anything, that makes me so happy. And especially if it is somewhat appreciated, at least, it's like very fulfilling for me. Everything else, oh Isha, today you look hot, oh you lost weight, oh this, that is not motivating for me at all. Like, I know the day I look nice, and I know the days when I don't look nice. Like, it's not something I need to know from anybody else. I'm my own best critic anyway. But if you tell me that, you know, you were able to relate to what I said, or you were able to relate to my situation and stuff like that, now that kind of touches me on a deeper level, you know, and that really does make me happy. So that's that. After that gap year was flippin' done, I started doing live slowly, but still trying to figure out, what do I really want to do? Makeup, level up, grooming, self-development, human psychology, men's psychology, relationships, dating, marriage, you know, all that. So I was trying different things, and I like to talk about a lot of different things because I read a lot and stuff. Now it's part of my normal daily lifestyle. That book that I picked up once, it just changed my life, you know. I'm not going to say that it was the best book ever. It was something. It got me started. I'm very thankful to Steve Harvey if he ever gets to watch this, you know. It was just a good experience. All of this up and down emotional state. It has been a journey. But here we are. And I'm sharing this story because, coming back to what I said at the beginning of this video, every time girls follow anyone for any sort of advice, they want to know that what the person is saying, are they all about it themselves too, you know? And so I'm here to tell you that when I talk about emotional well-being or mental health, or like mental well-being, and doing the things that get you in alignment and get you in your aura and energy that is truly you, then just know that I know what I'm talking about. A little bit at least. Yeah, if that satisfies you, okay? Like, I want you to just, like, I just want you to understand where I'm coming from, if that makes sense. So when we're talking about the mental and the physical aspect of things and stuff, I believe I can talk about it. I have faced it. I've experienced some stuff too, you know, generally, like, everybody has experienced life or whatever. And I always also do put myself deliberately in situations. I'm always learning and growing and doing things and reading and researching and writing and all those things. So I know data, you know. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm saying at this point, but that's all. I just hope that you can relate to some of the things that I do on the channel. And I also came here to basically just invite you to become a member of my Patreon, so I can start doing like real classes with real strategies to follow, and even if that means doing class on the steps on how to actually get over a breakup, for example. Now I know. Back then I didn't, right? How to get over your depression. Now I know. Back then I didn't. You know, how to have a better social standing. Now I know. Back then I didn't. How to be diplomatic and still get your ways even when people are not very in your favor around you. Now I know. Back then I didn't. So with time we learn these things, and I have a thing where if I learn one thing, I research the hell out of things. You know, if you use a term in front of me today and I don't know the meaning, of course I'm going to ask you the meaning, but best believe when I go home, I'm going to research the hell out of that thing, okay? Whatever subject, whatever topic it is, because I like to be knowledgeable, or I like to be enlightened about every subject that I literally come across. So when I talk about certain things, I want you to trust me, you know, because I do things in a responsible way. It's not just out of fun and entertainment or just for the sake of making content. In fact, actually, I was just thinking this the other day, and I was talking to someone actually, and they were like, you need to start vlogging and show luxury and show consumerism and show that side of you. And I'm like, it doesn't make me happy. It doesn't make me happy. You know, I want to teach. I love guiding. I love teaching. That's just what it is. So when I make content, it's not for entertainment or just fun or showing consumer side of me or showing luxury. Does that make sense? Like, you would get so much views if you dressed a certain way and look like everybody else who looks like an influencer on Instagram and stuff like that. And I totally know I'll get so much more views if I do that. So, but I'm not here to fit in. No, I do live a good life. I don't share too much about personal stuff on social media. I think I like to be very well protected and cared and just private and just happy in my zone and just do my little hobbies, whatever it is that I do, you know. But when I come on social media, that's my time. Okay, I would like to say something, you know, I would like to talk about this thing, or this is something I was thinking about the other day in the park when I was walking. I want to talk about this thing, and I want to be free to do that without getting those kinds of judgments where, how can you talk about it? You have not been divorced yourself. You don't, literally that's like saying to a doctor, go have a heart attack first yourself. Don't even treat me. How you know about heart attack? You never had one yourself. Like, you are literally discarding their whole experience, research, study, exams that they have done all this time. Are you just gonna disregard that, you know? And it's also like saying to your business teacher at school, go have a business first yourself. How can you teach us theories about business? You don't know business. But they still have education to back it up. They know the things to tell you. Now, you executing and doing the things in practical life, that depends on you. They didn't want to do it. They wanted to teach, probably. They love teaching. Some people just do. I am actually one of them. It took me ages to find out and figure out, what do I actually like to do? Do I like being all about makeup? Tried it. No. Do I like all about just dating and relation? No. I talk enough, I think, about that wherever it helps. I do give references, but it's not just what I'm all about, you know. I also now avoid talking, in fact, about too much controversial stuff like that, because I have a different circle now, and, you know, you can't just talk about anything and everything and just put it out there. Which is also why I'm here to invite you to my Patreon, because on there is no limits, because it's like a close-knit group of just the members only. and I would like to at least drop 1 or 2 classes there, or do lives actually every single week there, and freely talk about anything and everything. And of course, I want the members who are actually all about that, open to that, and who allow me to just be that. And if you have certain concerns, whether it's about now mental stuff, emotional, relationship, anything, it does come back to your energy, it does come back to your mindset and your psychology. And I know a thing or two about that. I can talk about that, I can guide you, and I know that you will improve, because I've improved literally hundreds of people I cannot even count. Now, of course, I also do take my level up clients. They have only ever improved, they only do take things seriously, and they discuss things with me, they trust in me, you know, and I feel responsible as well, and I love to do these things. It really helps me. Serving in that sense helps me have a purpose in life, and that's what I live for. And I'm very appreciative and thankful for people who allow me to be that, because that is who I want to be, you know. And this video is a long video, but I'm just putting my, I don't know, my realness out there, you know. That's all. And I shall see you on my Patreon. And if there's concerns and stuff like that you want me to talk about, which I cannot talk on here publicly live, that's something we'll be doing on Patreon community. And so I'm very excited to start building our Patreon family there, so I can do my things seriously and talk about these things. And I know you guys enjoy those anyway. Whenever I'm talking things on my Facebook group live, you always have supported and guided and enjoyed. And actually not all of them even are on my YouTube, because they like the side of me on the group a lot more, because it's very open, it's very chill, because it's not too public, right? But on Patreon we can be all of that, and I can also give strategies and like real classes, real lessons, real life examples. We're going to be dissecting some movies, dissecting some books. I think I dissected this movie the other day called The Holiday on my Instagram stories, and I was surprised so many of you guys wanted me to continue doing those, because it was interesting how I was, and that was the first time I watched that movie, and I was just kind of dissecting the characters. Oh, this is the Uber girl. Oh, this is a beta guy. Oh, this is the alpha guy. Like, by their energies and the way those characters are picked up and their body language and stuff like that, you can kind of course you can tell. And I certainly believe that I'm really good at that. So I did that on my stories. I just took a little clips and I kept writing as I went along the video, and I did that for the whole movie. That movie, I think, was 1.5 hours. It took me 3 hours to finish that movie, because obviously I wanted to share my opinion on certain scenes. I had to write things and keep sharing on Instagram. That was so much fun to do. That's something I would like to do more of, again on Patreon, with the movies that you guys suggest. And also there's some books. Again, I can't mention them here because they're a little controversial and their names and titles are very explicit also. I think I've mentioned that whole list on my Patreon anyway, but we're going to be talking about the books literally as in what were the lessons in there and stuff like that, because some of the books are not the ones that you would buy and just put them in the house just anywhere and everywhere for everybody to see. They're not those kinds of books, you understand me? But anyway, well, honestly, I feel like this was the most useless video probably, because I don't even know what title this video will have. I have no idea. What I'm gonna name this video, I don't know, but we will. Thank you guys for supporting. I think, yeah, that's what I'm here for. Whoever has been here from, you know, from the beginning till now, I appreciate that. Some people, it makes me very sad. Sometimes people just literally turn into haters all of a sudden. It makes me sad, because it's like, hey, you have been in my journey here with me for such a long time. Like, what is it that I did in my personal life or whatever which affected you so badly that you have turned into a hater? To me, logically, it doesn't make sense, because when I follow people and they have things to say that I can learn from or take notes, anything, even one thing, it's respect for me. I will show my respect my whole life, because now it's a teacher for me, you know. But I think people apparently have a lot of hate, and I understand. Maybe people also can sometimes think that if you're not too old enough, you know, they don't take you that seriously, and I totally understand that. All the more reasons why, even when I was 16, I used to tell everybody I'm 18, because I've always wanted to be taken seriously. So consider me 40, even though that's a decade away. But yeah, if that makes you take me seriously and like not have the jealousy factor, or that evil, I don't know what factor you call it, but if that helps you, then, you know, consider that. I really don't mind. And people try that sometimes, you know, calling me Baji, and it's like, that's a compliment for me. This is a compliment for me, because that means I'm higher than you on a respectable level. Call me Baji. I don't mind. I love it. Like, I thrive for that. Obviously, that doesn't mean that everybody else starts calling me Baji, but I'm just saying, you know, it's not an insult. That's all I'm saying. So how can that be an insult? Please. Anyways, guys, that was it for this video. Anybody who has been here with me from the beginning, I truly appreciate that. I am very, very thankful, and I don't know how to say that, you know. And who is not here anymore with us, I wish them the best of luck also. I hope everybody does well in their life. It's a very short life, if you think about it. We'll all go one day, and I wouldn't want anyone to just waste it in hatred, competition, negativity, toxicity, narcissisty, and all of that. Okay, I said these words very fast. I'm usually very slow at speaking. Thank you. Well, take care of yourself until my next video. I'll see you now on my Patreon, and I think this shall be such an exciting journey for me, where I can take up serious clients. And I think, oh, by the way, Patreon is literally just, it starts from $4.99 a month. Of course, you can become a VIP member, which is $32, which will include the book club also. And then there's the medium level, which is, I think, $14.99 something. It's totally worth it. I think self-investment is not the kind of investment that you will ever regret, you know. Certainly I never did. I mean, I have literally taken a whole 180-degree turn, if I think just flipping 4 or 5 years ago, and now. Oh wow, everything has changed. Literally everything. Emotionally, mentally, physically, yes. Financially, yes. Well-being, generally, everything. I am so thankful, and I'm very happy. I don't think I've ever been the happiest like I am right now, you know. And with that, I think I shall say that please keep me in your prayers, and I'll keep you in my prayers also. And I hope that I keep attracting the right kind of audience here that just wants to learn, or wants this message, or if even this can motivate you. I don't know. Again, I think this video was not very motivating or anything at all. I don't even know why I'm posting this, but yeah, I hope I don't delete this. I don't know. Until my next video, take care of yourself. I shall see you on my Patreon. Become a member. Can't wait to see you there. Take care of yourself. Bye.